Hello everyone, welcome to Team 4. Our topic for this presentation is organizational learning, entrepreneurial orientation, and the role of university engagement in SMEs. I and colleagues would be taking this presentation. I think in this presentation, we will be examining the research topic. During the presentation, we will examine SMEs, its characteristics. Also, we would discuss organizational learning in SMEs, why it is important, and the role of entrepreneurial orientation and university engagement in SMEs. We would also look at the methodology and the hypothesis would be explained. Application of research study to TD Insurance, which is a Canadian company of our team's choice. And finally, we would conclude and be open for any questions you may have at the end of the presentation.
SMEs stands for small to medium enterprise. SMEs are businesses that maintain revenues, assets, or a number of employees below a certain threshold. Every country has its own definition of what constitutes a small and medium-sized enterprise. SMEs play an important role in the economy. They outnumber large firms considerably, employ vast numbers of people, and are generally entrepreneurial in nature, helping to shape innovation. SMEs benefit a lot from governments. Governments regularly offer incentives, including favorable tax treatment and better access to loans to help keep them in business. They also offer education programs, coaching small and mid-sized enterprise business owners on how to make their business grow and survive, as well as special audit programs to target high risk areas and boost task compliance. All SMEs share common characteristics regardless of industry and local market. Size. SMEs can have 1 to 99 paid employees. The small size of the business can be an advantage when it comes to specialization of filling niche markets with their products. A small and medium enterprise generally have limited resources. This may be due to lack of track record on the firm to entice potential investors and bankers. Hence, it is highly dependent on the capability of the owner to generate resources. SMEs have more flexibility to adapt to changes in the environment due to its size. It is also vulnerable to grow in the business environment as well. For example, any changes in government policy or technology might have a strong influence on the firms since instant changes require additional resources or capital. Strong relationship. Most SMEs focus on a small number of products and services. This limited focus lets such companies establish strong relationships with their business partners, which in turn provides stability for the SMEs. Diagram shown shows the total number of employer businesses by business size and number of SMEs per 1,000 provincial population as of December 2019. As you can see, as of December 2019, there were 1.23 million employer businesses in Canada. Of these, 97.9% were small businesses, 1.9% were medium-sized businesses, and 0.2% were large businesses. More than half of Canada's small employer businesses are concentrated in Ontario and Quebec. Western Canada has a large number of small businesses, led by British Columbia. In the Atlantic region, Nova Scotia has the most small businesses. The province with the most businesses per thousand individual aged 18 and over is Prince Edward Island, followed by Alberta. Quebec has the smallest number of businesses per thousand individuals aged 18 and over, followed by Nova Scotia, Manitoba, and Ontario. From the article, organizational learning, according to Sanzo, is a dynamic process of creating, acquiring, and integrating knowledge in an attempt to develop resources and capabilities that will enable the organization to achieve better performance. As a small to medium sized enterprise gain experience, it should improve over time. The organization should be creating a broad base of knowledge covering any and all topics that could improve the way the enterprise does business. A good example of a company that employs organizational learning is Toyota. According to the Toyota Way by Jeffrey Leica in 2004, Toyota Company looks at every problem as an opportunity to identify root causes and develop countermeasures. They use a method called the 5 whys. In this case, individual managers might have been the people to ask those whys, but they transferred the knowledge and experience to the organization by changing policies and procedures based on what they learned. Another good example is Airbnb. Airbnb employs organizational learning via an event called Fireside Chat, hosted by managers. This is one way the organization shows its dedication to learning. These internal events bring in industry leaders who share their insights on a certain topic. Why is organizational learning important? Organizational learning is a process improvement that can increase efficiency, accuracy, and profits. It is important for all companies as the creation, retention, and transfer of knowledge within the organization will strengthen the organization as a whole. The benefits of organizational learning developed by an enterprise with a great learning culture are: 1. Increased employee job satisfaction, lower turnover rates, increased productivity, profits, and efficiency, developing leaders at all levels, and enhanced adaptivity throughout the organization. When organizations dedicate time and resources to developing a learning culture and implementing organizational learning, they are more competitive.
EO captures the extent to which a firm's posture may be characterized as entrepreneurial versus conservative. Entrepreneurial orientation refers to the processes, practices, and decision making styles of organizations that act entrepreneurially. Any organization's level of entrepreneurial orientation can be understood by examining how it stacks up relative to 5 dimensions. The first is autonomy. Autonomy refers to whether an individual or team of individuals within an organization has the freedom to develop an entrepreneurial idea and then see it through to completion. Another is competitive aggressiveness. It is the tendency to intensely and directly challenge competitors rather than trying to avoid them. Aggressive moves can include price cutting and increasing spending on marketing, quality, and production capacity. Innovativeness. It is the tendency to pursue creativity and experimentation. Some innovations build on existing skills to create incremental improvements, while more radical innovations require brand new skills and may make existing skills obsolete. Those organizations that are successful in their innovation efforts tend to enjoy stronger performance than those that do not. Proactiveness. It is the tendency to anticipate and act on future needs rather than reacting to events after they unfold. A proactive organization is one that adopts an opportunity seeking perspective. Risk taking. It refers to the tendency to engage in bold rather than cautious actions. Although a common belief about entrepreneurs is that they are chronic risk takers, research suggests that entrepreneurs do not perceive their actions as risky, and most take action only after using planning and forecasting to reduce uncertainty. Since entrepreneurial orientation is a strategic resource with tacit knowledge embedded in it and business or university engagement as a complementary resource which is embedded in explicit knowledge, both can be used to effectively strengthen organizational learning. We'll be looking at the hypothesis. EO creates a fertile internal environment for organizational learning to take place. The more entrepreneurial a firm, the more learning orientation it is, the more likely it instills values that promote commitment to learning, open mindedness, and shared vision. Organizational learning partially mediates the entrepreneurial orientation performance relationship. And from that, we're able to derive hypothesis one, which states the level of entrepreneurial orientation in SMEs is positively related to the level of organizational learning. The relationship between entrepreneurial orientation and organizational learning is positively moderated by SMEs university engagement, such that greater university engagement leads to stronger positive entrepreneurial orientation effects on organizational learning. Prior studies have shown that research partnerships between firms and university as a means of engagement have considerable impact, enabling firms to access a range of resources. The services offered by universities to smaller firms include business assistance, extension services, and accelerator and outreach programs designed to transfer university expertise in new technologies and business practices to improve product performance, product quality, and process efficiency. Through engagement with universities, businesses can gain access to the latest research in their fields and innovative employees in the forms of graduates or students on work placements. They are also able to gain access to innovative ideas and opportunities via the networks developed from their university engagements. So, if higher levels of knowledge based resources can be transferred through university engagement, suggests that SMEs with higher levels of entrepreneurial orientation that engage with universities will have an advantage in terms of organizational learning. We will now take a look at the methodology. For the average age of the firms was approximately 42 years, but the standard deviation was approximately 46 years. And the average size was 112 employees, while with the standard deviation it was 200. The survey was utilized to gather data from SMEs in the northwest of England. The Northwest region provided an interesting context to understand issues relating to organizational learning, entrepreneurial orientation, and the role of businesses or university engagement in SMEs. The population of SMEs in this study was defined using the following three criteria: all active companies, with a registered office address or primary trading address in the Northwest, which had less than 250 employees in the last trading year. Based on the three criteria, 4,191 firms were identified, of which 3,133 firms had a full address, including a postal code. The tools used were questionnaires, as well as the t-test, which was used and showed no statistical significant differences. For the limitations, we found out that some firms had incomplete addresses, which a web search was conducted to identify their full addresses but proved unsuccessful. As a result, it was not possible to ascertain the representativeness of the sample. Since the study was based on a cross sectional research design, it limits the extent to which we can ascertain whether the degree of organizational learning in SMEs is sustained in the long term as a result of the roles of entrepreneurial orientation and business or university engagement. So, for our Canadian firm, we chose TD Insurance. TD stands for Toronto Dominion. TD Insurance was founded in 1949. TD's insurance headquarters is in Toronto, Ontario. TD Insurance is a Canada based insurance company that offers car, home, travel, life insurance products and services for individuals and businesses. TD Insurance is part of the TD Bank Group, which is one of Canada's largest financial services organizations. They work in two sectors, which are the general insurance and the life and health insurance. From TD's annual report in 2019, it indicated lower revenue due to reduced client activity because of the competitors in terms of working from home due to COVID. The scenario implies that TD needs to be creative and innovative in developing insurance products to cater for current and emerging market segments in the economy. This is where organizational learning comes in. Organizational learning through appropriate strategies will enhance TD's innovation and creativity and hence increase their revenue, which would lead to more client activity.
In conclusion, our presentation showed that all dimensions of entrepreneurial orientation, such as innovativeness, risk taking, and proactiveness, has significant contributions in the variance identified in SME's performance. Finally, results of the regression modeling reviewed the significant influence of organizational learning in the mediation of the relationship between entrepreneurial orientation and SMEs. We recommend that SMEs should make it a priority to inculcate organizational learning culture in their business dealings to keep employees abreast industry developments and enhance business growth through self development and improved sense of fulfillment. Also, from the positive results of the mediating role of organizational learning on entrepreneurial orientation or SMEs performance relationships, entrepreneurs should always consider organizational learning as an important factor necessary for augmenting observed shortcomings in EO in order to achieve improvement in SMEs performance. These are all our references. Thank you so much. Questions, please.